Very chill. Are we sharing a mic? No, we're not. I'm taking this.
Oh my gosh.
So, hi everyone.
Hi guys.
Welcome to
Voiceactor Roundtable.
Anime Voice Actor Roundtable, Grand West Hilton.
We are anime voice actors on a rectangular table.
Yeah, for a round table.
Yes.
It's actually a very rectangular table.
I love it. Why is this playing?
I love it though. It's really exciting, but it is. We may be distracted sometimes. Oh no, don't blink. I had the urge to like dub it. Ah! Oh my!
Anyway,
Hi.
should we introduce ourselves? Who
Yeah,
here?
Eric might introduce us.
Oh, there's a moderator.
We do have a moderator.
I didn't even see it.
It's fine. So, we already welcome you to the Anime Voice Actor Roundtable, or Rectangle Table. I'm sure all of you have lots and lots of questions. I'm going to keep mine to a very small amount. But first, I want to ask all you guys, so how many of you have been to a panel this weekend that featured one of our guests?
Thank you guys.
Most of you. How many been to more than one? More than
60-40.
Yeah, okay. So for those that you may not know, I'm going to introduce each guest. First we have Robbie Daymond.
That's correct. Hi, everyone. Hello. I'm first because I'm the best on the table. That's kidding. I'm the worst. I play characters in anime and video games such as Tuxedo Mask and Sailor Moon, Akechi in Persona 5, Prompto in Final Fantasy 15. I'm the voice of Spider-Man for the Marvel animated universe. I also play Mitsuki in Baruto and a bunch of other stuff. Maybe you know, maybe you don't, but that's who I is and who I are. What about you?
Hey, is it on? Okay, cool. I'm Amanda Miller. I'm the voice of Sailor Jupiter in Sailor Moon Crystal and the Viz redub of whatever, classic Sailor Moon. I'm Boruto in Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Other things, I don't know. I'm Sully and Shirshi in Fire Emblem Awakening, and I'm Junko, Inashima, and Togo Fukawa in the Danganronpa video games.
What did you just say?
What?
That was a lot of words.
Oh, not
Aren't you one of the main characters in HunterxHunter?
I'm Menchi.
Oh.
The guest character.
Like the Yoku place?
Yes, that's
Yoku.
Hey, Jeff, damn it. Not at all.
Hey guys, my name is Ray Chase. I play video games and I get to be in them and I get to be in anime. I play Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. I play Roy and Alphonse from Fire Emblem, Eve from Nier Automata, Artorias from Tears of Berseria, and Puri Prisoner from One Punch Man. But most importantly, you all know it, it's the subway announcer from Persona 5. Raise your hand if you've heard that joke more than once this weekend.
That's a fresh audience.
How do I follow that up? How? Hi, I'm Caitlin Glass. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I'm Winry Rockbell, Fullmetal Alchemist, Haruhi Fujioka, and Ouran High School Host Club. I've been in Attack on Titan and One Piece and Fairy Tail and lots of things. I'm currently directing the new dub of Fruits Basket, and I'm happy to be here.
Hi everyone, my name is Max Mittelman.
That didn't work out. I have been, I am Plagg in, that's not an anime. King in Seven Deadly Sins. King in Seven Deadly Sins. And, what's the other one? No, I'm trying to think of,
That's the last one.
Merriman in HunterxHunter, that's it. And then, said King. Saitama in One Punch Man, and I was gonna say Ryuji, but that's not an anime.
You're saying Ritsu from Mob Psycho?
Ritsu and Mob Psycho. Thanks, Fred.
You can say the Ladybug one.
A ladybug.
Yeah.
It's French.
You can say
Plagg and Miraculous Ladybug.
it. That's what the people want.
Ryuji in Persona 5.
Yeah.
See, I told you! Nobody cares.
For real?
Hey guys, I'm Cherami, Leigh. I voice Lucy in Fairy Tale, Asuna in Sword Art Online, Sailor Venus in the Viz redub, and Crystal of Sailor Moon. And some other things. I'm Makoto in Persona 5. Rhea in Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and now I can talk about being red blood cell in Cells of Work.
Right, so now that they introduce themselves, I have just two questions. So the first question I wanted to ask you is, so of all the panels you've been on this weekend, it doesn't have to be an anime and manga related panel. Any panel you've been on this weekend, what was your favorite question or comment that attendee made or interaction that you had this weekend?
Favorite question from a panel? Guys.
Or any question that you ever been asked. What's your favorite moment or question that you think that you would like to share that answer to?
This is gonna be great.
Yeah, I think we should save the time that we could spend trying to think of what that is and use it instead and let them ask us. Yeah. It's Monday of a 4-day con. We're done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for real.
So the second question I have prepared for you is that out of, let's see, what do you feel is the biggest difference in your job today as it was when you first started being an anime voice actor, or some of you also do ADR directing or whatever? What do you feel is the biggest difference today in your job compared to when you first started?
I don't sweat as much when I'm in an audition or a callback situation.
Good job. Less sweating. I think there's more work than ever. I think there's more work, but I think that it's spread out. So television has really changed. The streaming market has really changed all of that. And as far as a business perspective goes, there's more work, but it's not necessarily as high profile as it used to be. You could be in 8 different shows now, and somebody will maybe know one of them, but I would say, 10, 12 years ago, if you got a big show, that would be like everybody was watching it on television. Where like if you were on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or on even Adult Swim or Toonami or something like that, that's where everybody consumed their media. Now they're getting it everywhere. They're getting it from Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. Maybe they're streaming it illegally online. You shouldn't, but maybe they are. So yeah, I think that's the biggest difference for me, is that I'm doing more than I ever did, but it doesn't necessarily have the market penetration as things did a while ago. That's what you want, really specific business questions, right?
Yeah.
Good.
4 years ago, we were brought in to do an anime, and we got the Guild Thunders here. I'm Hauser, that's King. We're 7 Deadly Sins. You're in 7 Deadly Sins?
I have a very small role.
Very small role.
Yeah.
I assume not. It was Netflix's test pilot to see if they could dub anime into 26 different languages and have a simultaneous dub release. And that has now been the norm. We work for Netflix more than anybody at this point. They really took over the anime market. And they're nice to work with, yeah.
And they acquire a lot of stuff too. Like I did this movie called The Silent Voice, and I did it in theaters. It was in theaters like 2.5 years ago or something like that. And then it took forever for it to come to Blu-ray. And I was so excited because I love that movie. I think it's a great movie. Like if you're trying to get, your mom or your dad interested in anime, it's an easy one to sit down and watch. So I was like, watch this movie. I've never pushed anything that hard before. And then it came out on Blu-ray and still really nothing. And then 2 or 3 months ago, it came out on friggin' Netflix. And more people talk to me about that than maybe anything. So I think I think Netflix and the streaming market has really changed things. Yeah, because if you subscribe to an anime streaming service, then you're probably already a fan. If you're not into anime, you're not going to pay $5 or $10 or $14 a month to stream whatever you want, and it's all anime. But if you're on Netflix and you're clicking through and that anime bar pops up, and maybe you're not a fan or maybe whatever, and you just click it, and it's a game changer. It's so accessible. I think that's the biggest change in the last few years.
I'd say the biggest change has been the advent of what at Funimation we call the simuldub. Other places call it something similar, but the idea that we're dubbing anime that you can watch in English here as it is coming out in Japanese in Japan. So to keep things current, to keep fans at the forefront of what is coming out. So that's been revolutionary. It's been pretty difficult, but now it's the norm for us. So instead of working on a whole show at a time, or at least half of the season at a time, we work on a broadcast schedule of 1 episode per show at a time. But at Funimation, that's 9 studios, day and night, 18 shows every 3 months. And the new 18 shows. So it's real tiring, but yeah, like Robbie said, you could be involved in any number of those. But I don't want to say that the market is oversaturated, because they just want as much content as possible, so when you're done with your one show, there are so many others for you to choose from. But it's hard to know what people like and what they're into, because they're watching everything. Or they're like, I'm going to wait till that whole show comes out and then I'm going to binge watch it. So it's taken some adjustment to get used to what that kind of workload is like, but it's apparently here to stay.
Yeah, binge watching changed everything, however you do it. Yeah, that now television shows for Western animation are doing the binge watch dump and putting stuff out instead of, a new episode every week, because kids aren't watching, they're not watching, just kids, when I say kids, they're not watching appointment viewings anymore, just period. Like 6 years ago, Nielsen ratings on Saturday morning cartoon were like maybe 1.6 million, somewhere around there. And that was only 5-6 years ago, and that was down from 5-6 years ago from like 3-4 million. Now it's like 250,000. It's next to nothing. So, and those are just regular sort of numbers now. So what they've been doing to protect their investment is they're dropping 5, 6, 10 episodes at once, putting them all on TV in a limited series, and then they throw them up on demand.
A weekend marathon or something.
Yeah. I did a show. Oh, I can't say that. I'm in the second half of a show that just dropped a few months ago that I was like so excited for, because it was a full series, and then it dropped the first 12 episodes in 1 week, and now it's gone. And then who knows when the second half will be back. And who knows where it lives now. Probably on demand, maybe? I don't know. So things are definitely weird right now in the animation space. But
and it's hard, like you say, because it's nice that there is so much more work, but we as actors kind of live off of the feedback. I don't think we do it necessarily for the fame or to know I was in the big deal thing, but it's hard to, without any reciprocation, it just feels unbalanced. It feels like you put your work into this thing and you put it out there, and you're still waiting like for the waves to come back, but you don't know.
Yeah,
so
like
Roca
raising the 6 flowers, baby.
oh yeah, or Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, or something that you're really pumped about that you think is going to be great, and then
We work just as hard as those ones too.
yeah, we still go in and give it our best, and the show, you never know what's going to hit. Hits. Yeah, that's what hits are so rare.
Yeah, what is
to get a Fairy Tail or Attack on Titan or a My Hero Academia or One Punch Man or something like that. There's so few and far between.
Well, I think it requires a lot of marketing from the marketing team, and they're spread so thin because there's so many shows. So they're like, well, we've got to use the same marketing budget that we had, but instead of now having 4 shows to market, we have 20 shows to market.
And they have to protect their investments.
Yeah.
So they'll end up spending that money on the shows that are probably a sure thing anyway, but because they spent millions on it, they need to make sure that they make back the money.
Yeah,
so instead of knowing, we've got this weird Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress thing, it's really amazing, but we can't really spend the time or money to let people know how amazing it is. Let's just hope they figure it out.
And you have a little bit of a precursor sort of knowledge in the manga release, if it has one. So, if something's got a killer manga, but it's probably going to get more attention than something that's maybe just a sort of middling thing. Then maybe there's a great animation studio.
Exactly.
Sometimes stuff comes out of nowhere.
It could be beautiful looking or have an amazing soundtrack, or a great Japanese cast behind it. So the hype is huge for Japan, but they're like, we don't really know what it'll do here.
Or vice versa. Like One Punch Man is a doodly webcomic that turned into a manga, and it's more popular over here in the States than it is in Japan. So you never know.
Thank you all for those answers. That was the only other question I had. So now I want to actually put the microphone over here. And you guys, please, if you have a question, please line up in an orderly fashion. Straight line right in the middle. And we'll be with you too.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
You know what it was? It was a round
It was a round table.
We actually
We
got
did. We did a round table with a rectangular table.
Yes.
No.
Actors talking about our jobs. Love it.
Go ahead.
Hi.
You guys have been really great all weekend. It's been a ton of fun.
Thank you.
Lava was especially great. I felt very special when Robbie personally invited me to come to Lava, and then I managed to get a seat on the front row.
You're the one who stayed waiting in line. Thank you.
It was worth waiting outside in the dark.
Aw, very fun.
Sweet. Thank you.
So I want to ask what is hopefully not too hard of a question on a Monday morning. What role were you guys most surprised you got? Whether that's because you thought you flew the audition or you thought this name is way too big for me. What were you most surprised and excited that you got?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. I got one. Michiru, Fist of the North Star, the last video game. That was a big surprise for me. Yeah. Because my voice isn't that necessarily naturally that low and sort of, and I can do it. I did it, and I'm really proud of that. I think the game turned out great, but that was a pretty surprise. Like I kept going, I had 2 callbacks and one with Japan on the line, and I kept going like, you guys sure? yeah, we like it. And I was like, okay. But actually, I'm really proud of that one. I enjoyed that one a lot, but I was very surprised.
For me, for me it was Sailor Jupiter because I grew up watching the show and she was my favorite character, so like lower the odds. But also when I got the audition, I thought it was gonna be done in Texas, so I was like, what? It's been done in LA now. Like I just didn't expect to get the audition. I didn't expect to book the job. Like there's so many things that had to line up. So when I finally got it, I was like, oh, well, it's quite a surprise.
For me, it was Roy from Fire Emblem because I didn't audition for it at all. I auditioned for Alphonse from Fire Emblem Heroes, and they said, while you're here, you want to give Roy a shot? We got 10 minutes left in our hour. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've been playing him since the Melee days. And I had to come up with a voice really, really fast. And then they ended up using it. So that was nonsense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And they kept you for Smash, right?
And then they kept me for Smash. Yeah, it was weird.
That was super cool. I'm going to say Cammy from Street Fighter, because similar to Amanda's answer, I grew up playing the game. So when the audition came along, I was very surprised because it had been about 10 years since there had been a new Street Fighter game. This was before Street Fighter 4. And I knew that it would be done in Los Angeles, and I thought, I read for Cammy. I had a bunch of people to read for, and I read for her on a whim. Not thinking that I would get it, because knowing it would be done in LA, I assumed they would get a real Brit to do it. So I just gave it all I had for fun, because I loved Street Fighter, and then that's the part that I booked. And all these years later, I'm still Cammy, so it's weird. I gotta pinch myself sometimes.
Do you record it? Do you record it remotely?
No, I come to LA. It's only every so often that I need to. The last one I did was for 5, and that was a couple of years ago.
She's wearing a camo unitard under her outfit right now. She's so into the
And I
character.
have a red beret, and I can kick your ass. I won't be very good at it, but it sounds really good.
I was really surprised that I got a Jason Sudeikis voice match for an Angry Birds McDonald's commercial. I was about to pass on the audition, but it was like 4 words long. It was like, oh, there's the door. And I was like, well, I can't do a full-on Jason Sudeikis impression, but maybe I can do that. So I went, oh, there's the door. And I booked it. National commercial, baby. And it was great, yeah.
No, voice matches are really hard. I would be surprised if I booked a voice match.
I will say though, when I got to the session, they were trying to direct me different ways, and I could really only do that line one way.
This is the only way I sound like Jason.
Yeah, and they would do it. I would do it a different way, and they were like, "Yeah, it's good, but you don't sound like him anymore." And I was like, "Cool, let's do the first way that I did it."
I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, I was surprised about that. I'm like, why are you surprised? Apparently that you ever get a job. But I do know 3 off the top of my head. I was really surprised that I got cast as Lucy in Fairy Tale because I did not initially go in and read for it. I read for like 3 other characters, and Tyler was like, why do you read for Lucy? I was like, why? They're not gonna cast me as Lucy. So they just cast me off of me talking. And then for Nier, I was really surprised that I booked A2 because I don't usually get to play characters with that deep part of my voice that anybody takes seriously. And since then, that's what I've been doing a lot of lately, which has been really cool. And then Sailor Venus was another one. I found out, I was on my way to my wedding when I found out I got cast. And I was like, what? I couldn't even go to the callback because I told them, like, I'm getting married tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to make it. And so I sent in a callback and they remotely while I was in Texas, and they booked me after that, so I was really surprised.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
If theoretically you could cast the person to your right in one of your shows, what would you choose for them?
Shows that we
To
do.
my right, so Robbie. Okay.
I start. Well, we gotta
Right on
complete
Robbie.
the round.
It's a circle,
It's a circle.
In a role that's already been cast?
Well, if they were rereading your show, maybe your show, one of your shows that you were in.
Show you're in, but put Cherami in that show if she isn't already.
I would make Amanda. I would do an episode of Spider-Man. I'd do an alternate universe, alternate Earth Spider-Man, where she was female Miles Morales.
Ooh, that's good.
I'd make her Millie Morales. I think she'd be great.
Thanks. I would put Ray in Star versus the Forces of Evil.
You're in there?
Yeah, I was like one of the princesses. Princess Kazar Caterpillar. I would have you be one of the princesses. I think she'd be a fabulous princess.
I would cast Caitlin in Final Fantasy 15 as Femme Noctis.
Thank you. I'm so honored right now. Let's see. Oh gosh, there's so many. Max, can you just be in all of the shows?
Yeah, that's
I like it.
Cool.
Is that my answer?
Whatever you want.
It feels like such a cop-out. I want to answer for real. Come back to me.
I would cast Cherami as the other version of King, the older, bigger version of King. So every time I switched, instead of having this voice, you'd have a really like yeah.
I was trying to think, I was like, man, there's an extra celestial spirit that I could make Robbie play in Fairy Tale. That would be really cool. But actually, I think I would make you like a really cool cat that wore a lot of hats and then would rap and scat. You'd be one of the cats that would like hang out with Happy and Panther Lily in Fairy Tale.
Cool hat, rat, cat scat?
Yeah, that's great.
That's my new rule. Cool hat. That's great. Good
Okay.
question.
Let's see. Well, I direct a show called Radiant. Ray's in it. He sounds awesome. And there's a whole slew of new characters to come. So.
Go on.
Well, do you think that this is actually possible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I haven't seen it yet. It's the second season starts in October. They go to a whole new part of the universe of the show, and there are all kinds of people to meet.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Like
can
Max.
meet one of them.
You have the power to do that.
I do. I do have the power to do that. So I don't know.
This is Max's favorite question. To answer the previous question,
Yeah,
we all
what's your
failed
favorite
on.
question?
His favorite question, you asked it because it led to him getting a job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the job.
You owe him the 10%.
Oh, man.
This one's for Amanda. You said you voiced Junko, right?
In the video games.
Yeah. So, did you have to voice all of her different personalities?
So I was most of them, but Erin Fitzgerald voiced this one, the yeah. I just did the gestures. Like she has this one, the teacher, or the sexy like glasses one, and the Monokuma one, and then I'm the rest of them.
And follow up to that, was it hard having to like do different tones for the same character?
No, because I was a theater kid, so in theater they let you play your range, so it's actually kind of nice to be like, oh, I can play things I'll never get cast as anywhere else as this character. So yeah, it was fun to be able to be like, this royal queen, or like this little girl, or all these different. It was fun. It's like a workout. I need to do it without swearing.
She just did.
Oh, she has such a quiet, like.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
oh my gosh.
yesterday.
You never know if there's children in here, so it's like, yeah. I'm Juko Onishima, and I'm real effing glad to be here at Dragoncon.
He disappeared. You could just like swap with the person behind you and wait for Max.
Yeah, we'll let you jump in whenever.
He went to the little Max's room.
He went to call his parents about getting cast in Radiant.
So I'm a super huge fan of the Persona series, going back to the original, and I know several of you are in Persona 5. I was wondering, with Persona 5 Royal coming out and having expanded content, did they have you record new lines or revoice any existing ones?
I don't know what we're allowed to say. Very little.
Yeah, I mean, I started because I worked on the trailer, so I did the trailer.
Yes, we are currently. I don't think we're gonna revoice anything that was already done.
I don't think so.
But from what I understand from what the Japanese have already released on teasers and trailers, there's gonna be about a third of. It's another semester. The game was 2 semesters. There's a whole other semester, so there's at least a third more content, and also they're new characters, and they're also going to add some content and voicing to the original game. So they're going to add some things like I play Akechi. I think one thing that's not a secret is that they have totally revamped his confidant path, and he actually has one now, so it's not just automatic. You can do a confidant path with it. Is that what it's called? Yeah. And with Akechi, all that stuff. I can't really speak right now to what I've done so far, but there's tons of new content. It's not just like a gloss over add-on to DLC.
Well, what's really top secret is the fate of the subway announcer, and I know that's what you're going to
Who's going to be a playable character? DLC, it's called.
It's about time.
Persona 5 Railway.
Thank you. I didn't expect any details. I was just curious because, like, with Persona 3 Portable having the female MC, that they redid the whole thing. So
to our knowledge, behind the mic on the other side of the glass, there's no redubbing, redoing of anything. It's only additional content.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. I don't think they're going to touch the game you guys loved so much.
Okay, so this question was actually originally going to be just Max, and then I realized this is actually a great question to ask everyone. What was the most surprising meme to come from one of your characters? Like, what was the meme you didn't expect as a surprising meme? Well, okay is not surprising. But Yeet was surprising for Ryuji when he's throwing Morgana.
So, for Boruto, I find it amusing when people are like, oh yeah, have you heard of Boruto's dad? The whole board, somebody recently was like, oh, you play Boruto's dad's son. I'm like, nice.
I responded to a tweet where someone said, record Roy saying, "It's lit, fam!" And I added dab hashtag squabbles, and it's now canon, apparently.
Did someone say delicious pancakes? Why? I have like a dozen IHOP gift cards at home. People like, oh, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a pancake. It's a pancake.
And you're allergic to gluten.
That's true. That's not true.
It's but it was a GIF, which was also weird. I did a film called Not Cool, and there's this whole scene with a watermelon, and someone made a GIF of me stealing a watermelon, and then it was apparently trending on Reddit, and then I had a bunch of friends from high school that were messaging me asking when I turned to stealing produce. They're like, there's a video, there's surveillance video of you in this grocery store. I'm like, from multiple angles? And the quality's that good? Yeah. I was like, no, it's from a film. I actually don't steal watermelon. So that was very weird.
As far as we know.
I don't really know. I don't know what memes exist of characters like Plagg. You guys would have more knowledge of that than me, so come tell me at my table if you know that.
I'll start looking.
Thanks.
I sacrifice. Place them in the bowl and set them afire.
I don't know if this is going too seriously, but Amanda, you mentioned kind of playing your range was a cool thing with one of your characters, and Cherami, you said that you're now playing in a kind of different part of your voice.
Yeah.
Do you guys find that you get typecast? How do they match you up with the kind of Japanese voice actors? Do they do that at all, or do they just kind of, this is the character, the personality? How does the casting process go?
I think a lot of times, at least for me, it's usually like, this is their personality. Like, you're inspired by the Japanese breed, but you don't necessarily have to mimic their tone. But I do imagine we're casting probably.
There are some studios that are more Japanese-centric that we will cover for Japanese actors. We'll double for them more often than others. Yeah, there's a few guys that I'll just be curious and I'll look up what was Japanese and be like, oh, I've done this guy like half 10 times or 10 times or whatever. But as far as working in our tone and typecasting, yeah, and I think the crazy part is, I talked about this in our panel a little bit last time, I think that also varies from studio to studio.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I was like, it's crazy. I work at this studio, we'll call it Big Bang, and they just love me for like stoic tough guys, and I don't understand because I've been recording 15-year-old Spider-Man there for 4 years at the same studio that they rent out, but it's just how they see me, and that's because of them. I did Kill Thunder and Prolo and God Eater and all these kind of like rough and tough guys, and which it's kind of a bummer that I'm not considered for the shonen characters there, even though I'm doing them other places. But that's just how they see me. So maybe I would never have done characters like that people like if they didn't see me that way. So I think you do get pigeonholed and you do get known for. I would say 75% of the stuff I do is like teenager, like young 20s, that sort of like young sounding voice. But it obviously it varies.
Yeah. It usually goes in waves. Like you'll kind of get discovered either at a studio or maybe even in voice acting at all for a particular part of your voice, and at some point you'll have an opportunity to do something different. Some director takes a risk and lets you play a young boy or do a more androgynous voice or do something different, and then other directors start to hear that you can do that, and then they'll all want you to do that type of voice, and it goes like that. And I've also noticed that just as I age, just as a normal person, I can totally, like Robbie said, still play 16 and 17-year-olds, but there's a younger generation of voice actresses running around the studio, so they automatically just come to mind simply because they are younger.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrating because that might suck for them too. They might be like, I have a really low voice and would like to play like tougher characters or more moms, but people just assume that they can't do the job because they don't sound like a 16-year-old.
There was a thing that I booked. It was Jason Sudeikis. Yeah, no, I booked Halo 5, where I played the Promethean captain, and his voice is really deep and he sounds like this. And I did that for the audition. I did it really quiet. I turned the mic up real hot and I sounded real resonant and deep, not like what I normally sound like. And the casting director who brought me in thought there was a mistake on the audition, on the slate. She thought that someone switched the slates or something, the name slates. So it was like, Max Mittelman. And when I came in, she was acting very strange. And she was like, Good to see you. I don't know if you're gonna be here today. And she played the audition, and she was like, "That's not you, right?" And then I did it, and she was like, "Holy smokes!" and so that was cool, yeah. But like, I never would have had that opportunity if she didn't think it was just, a mistake. And was waiting for the real actor to come in that day.
It's funny, we joke and we go, oh, it's, voice acting is the greatest colorblind casting. It's just your voice. Then at a certain point, when people get to know you, not really.
No, it's your personality comes into play a lot, especially as a director. I'm often looking for people who are just very natural actors, and we don't have to mess with their speaking voice all that often. Sometimes yes, but more often than not, no. So the better I get to know an actor, the better chance they're going to play a character that's just like them. But I think we all like that. Sometimes it's nice to come in. It's nice on the chords. It's just.
I know it doesn't matter, and it seems silly, but if I'm playing a character who's really tough or is supposed to have a little bit more of an attitude, my first session I never ever dress the way I normally would. I usually wear like black, and put on dark eye makeup, and I do not giggle like myself normally, because I don't want them on that first session to be like, what was this? Because they didn't see me before. And then once I'm in for a week, all bets are out. I'll start wearing my my sloth t-shirt.
I just did a guest role on a show where I played a jerk kind of waiter guy, and so I put on my de-baggy glasses into the session, and when I walked in, they were like, "You look," I swear, they were like, "You look just like the guy." And then they showed me the animation, and I was like, "Yeah, look at that. What a coincidence!" Got him.
Although I think it's interesting, it's been good that we're trying to get more diversity into, they're trying to do more ethnic-specific casting to make room for people, more people. But I've been finding it's kind of also going the other way in that sometimes I'm getting pigeonholed.
It's tokenism.
We're I want to get a part because of my merit. But so there's times where I'll be called into certain video game studios. Mostly happens with video games. Sometimes with animation. I'm like, oh my gosh, they finally called me in. I bet it's because my reputation's so good and they finally heard about me. And it's like, no, we just need to cast a brown girl. They don't say that, but I look at the character and I'm like, oh, that's why I got called in. So it's I shouldn't complain because it's still work, but it's also awkward because I talk like this, and they're like, "Can you sound more urban?" So it's weird. But
yeah, diversity and representation is a tough thing because you want it to be genuine,
right.
And I think most of the time it is. But this year I have played 4 Native American characters in cartoons. And in the last 10 years, I've played 4 Native American characters. So if you're not telling me that there's a shifting climate a little bit, I was something that would have been Officer Willie is now Officer Crowfoot or something like that. And you go, hey, I'm really, really happy for the representation. Let me do that. It's a good thing that you guys are doing. But I don't know, as I'm a little bit cynical, I raise an eyebrow at it, but I'll take it. I like it.
It's just don't only think Robbie's the Native American one, or Amanda's the one who's kind of sort of maybe barely black. He reminds me all the time. He's like, you're not. I got it.
If only there were more old Jewish man roles.
Sexual and radiant.
It's a very diverse show.
Let's do it. We'll do it together.
That's what anime is missing. But he's totally
Jewish man.
He's totally OP Master Roshi.
Oh, I don't watch that.
You know what, guys? I love you all. I think we need to tighten up these answers a little bit.
I'm so sorry.
Hello. My question is for all of you. First of all, I really admire all of your work. And I myself am thinking about getting involved in the acting industry. And I was wondering, how do you stay humble and grounded in this industry?
Well, they don't pay us very much. So.
Also, you are rejected on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Constantly.
As soon as you start feeling a little bit confident, and you're
Yeah.
like, I feel really good about this audition. And
You'll
they
get-
like don't call, you go, cool, I am not that good.
Yeah, like a recast every once in a while, every 3-4 years is good for you. We do about, I would say we do about, in LA, we do about 400 to 600 auditions a year, somewhere around that, depending on your agency.
Okay, but wait. But there are people who are quite successful
Yeah.
and can still be humble and nice.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Oh yeah, we're just joking.
So how do you stay that way? I don't know the answer to that. I was raised a certain way.
Sure.
My parents raised me right, I think, and they raised me to be nice to people and follow the golden rules. So I don't know.
Well, I think it helps when we love our job and we love who we work with and we understand because we have been rejected so many times that the one time that we get the job or the one time we get a call back
Grateful.
or we get to audition, we're just so happy to get to play,
Yeah.
to get to be included. So like we're not gonna go in there being super confident and super cocky because somebody didn't get to audition today, somebody didn't get to have the job, and they're wishing that they could be in our shoes, and we've been that so many other times. So why not savor the one time you get to act with really cool people and do what you love?
If you stay grateful about the work that you do, about your life, about things that are going on in your life, you're going to be a much happier person, I think.
For me, it's always touching base with the why of what we're doing, and in the end, though we make a living at it and we enjoy it, I've been an entertainer my whole life, and the thing that is most important to me is bringing entertainment to other people, and I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I'm so grateful that that's what I get to do for a living. I think when you lose touch with that and you make the art and the performance about you and not the audience, I think that's when people fall off the rails and start putting their head up their own booties. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I don't know.
We can get time. We can hear you.
It's alright. I can theater kids, but we project. Right?
Nice projection.
So this question is for everyone. If you all could pick one property from your childhood that, if given the chance, you would absolutely jump on it to participate in, what would it be and why? And not, Amanda, don't say Sailor Moon because
I was a big Advance Wars fan, and that's how I used to practice voice acting, because that game doesn't have any voices, but it has an insanely huge cast with lots of different voices, and I would make up voices for them. I'd want to play every character.
Oh man.
It's weird because I don't like being the next version of an already known character.
A legacy voice?
Yeah, it's not fun. It's actually, I'm like, no, I'll think so I'm trying to think of
And also another tough part about it is that for a lot of us, we work with the people still who did those things. So we would have to replace like our friends. But no, it's a good question.
No, case in point, I was talking about yesterday, they said what was a show that you loved working on, or not yesterday, Saturday, what was a show that you loved working on that you would love to have a reboot or get to play? I was like, I'd like to play a new character in a show that I watched called Gummy Bears. And like crazy. So Jason started singing the song and he goes, I worked on that when I was 11. So talk about like we know everybody that's still on the show. But then when I was going back to the hotel that night, I was thinking, what was something that I loved watching and I had on loop as a kid? And it was this silly little video called Dixie's Diner. And I had the little diner playset that went with it. And I was like, man, if they redid Dixie's Diner, I would so want to work in that diner. I am incapable of working with food or service in a restaurant, but I could do it for an animation. I would not break any dishes.
Raise your hand if you know Dixie's Diner.
Exactly. Look at this, it's so cute.
I would be a grunt in Halo. Because when I was younger, and I would play Halo all the time, and I got to be in Halo, but as a very different character, I would always imitate the grunts. So I would want to be a little grunt. And there was one line that they said in the early games where the grunt just goes, "Ah, it's everywhere!" I said that line at least 20 times a day.
I think I kind of already mentioned something from my childhood that I do get to be a part of, and that's Street Fighter. And other things are just too iconic to want to touch them, like The Little Mermaid or something like that. So, not that. I don't know.
I don't know if it was just a syndication block in my area in rural Missouri, but we had always played a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff, like Wacky Races and like maybe Scooby-Doo, stuff like that. And I don't care, I'm just recently I got to do a bunch of episodes of Scooby-Doo. And like that one for me was just like sitting there with Frank Welker, who does Fred, and he opens his mouth and you just go, that was the, and some of the lines I got to say, I won't give them away, but they have something to do with a bunch of kids. Can you say that and do that? I think that for me was like, that was one of my big ones. Yeah.
Also, one piece, because you said Hanna-Barbera, I did get to do a pilot that was like a Flintstones type pilot.
Yeah.
And I got to play Dino.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And it didn't go through, but and it was so super fun.
Yeah, what that boomerang candy, right, or something like that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to know why you all decided to start voice acting in anime.
I started acting because I wanted to be on Barney. And then I've just been acting since I was 5. And then that led to me auditioning. And then my agent sent me an audition for Funimation. And I had no idea that was anime. I thought anime was just Pokemon, Sailor Moon, and Dragon Ball Z. So how could I work in those that were already done? Little did I know what was going to happen. But yeah, I auditioned at Funimation just because I had been an actor. So I guess Barney inspired my journey as an actor, and therefore Barney made me a voice actor.
All right, we have exactly 14 minutes in this panel, and if we do 2 minutes per answer, we can get through everyone. But you got the next.
What made you start voice acting? That was the question?
Yeah.
I was a pre-med student for 4 years, and at the end of my 4 years, I was going to drop out of college. So I called my parents, and I said, I'm going to drop out now, and they said, don't do that, just change your major, you idiot. And I was crying, and through my tears, I said, okay, I'll do that. And so I changed it to theater, got my theater degree, got an agent. It's all I've ever wanted to do since I was a small child. I've just never pursued it, never had the confidence. Finally did it, and found out voice acting was an offshoot of the acting track. So took some voice acting classes, got an agent, then found out anime was part of that whole thing. I didn't go, I want to be an anime voice actor. I said I wanted to be a voice actor, and anime just sort of was in the mix.
Similar. I have a degree in theater, and I ended up with a job in anime because Funimation is in the city where I went to college. So through people that I knew, I ended up there, and it turns out I have a knack for it, and a gig became a job, became a career.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah, theater major, took some voiceover classes, was like, this is really cool, went to LA, got into voiceover, that's the abbreviated version.
Equity when I was 10, theater my whole life, BFA, master's degree, realized that theater was kind of going away. I think the dodo, like regionally, like a bunch of, like I think from 2002 2008, something like 60% of regional theaters in the US shut down. So I mean, there's just not as many opportunities. Came out to LA when I was 25, did some on camera, discovered voiceover about John.
Thanks.
This video is still up, but it's just magical angel music.
So you guys all have like amazing theme songs. Like my little cousins are like they have a dance to the Host Club one. They're dancing it all the time. So I was wondering what your guys' their theme song was.
I have sang, let's see, I sang my own theme songs. I sing on Big Hero 6. I sang my own theme song for Bread.
No, but you have a favorite theme song.
What is it?
In cartoons.
Oh, what is it? What do I always
That
say?
rock and roll is the...
Oh yeah, it's from a show from the late 80s called Arthur and the Knights of Justice. It's the best! It rocks! YouTube it, it'll blow your mind. It's about a high school football team who gets transported to medieval times. I think it's one season, but it's got the most badass theme song. And there's actually a line, "Modern heroes in their medieval time." It's you're gonna YouTube it immediately after. That's my favorite.
Did you work on that show?
It's like 2.
Okay.
There's The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest has like a
Yeah.
banging theme song. So
Quentin's in that, right?
Yeah, he is.
in JoJo Part 4, they sing Great Days. And then there's the episode where Kira interrupts it. I've never been more scared in my life of a villain who is so powerful he can interrupt and change the theme song.
Just speaking from anime in recent years, a favorite theme song is from Noragami Arakuto. If anybody watched that show, it's a badass song, and the animation's really cool too, so go watch it.
I would often come home after middle school, turn on Toonami, and sing along to the Dragon Ball Z song.
One that I don't work on, I loved the Rugrats theme song. I found it very relaxing. And then one that I did work on, because I was terrified it ended up turning out okay, I thought the Japanese music director was going to be like, you get out. But he didn't, and that was for Cells of Work. That was so much fun to get to do.
We actually got to do that. We sang the Sherry and I sang the English.
And it was a lot of pressure. We had that session booked like a month in advance because the Japanese music director for Cells of Work in Japan came to our session to observe, and so we're like, don't ruin this. And I remember he did this for the first mix. That was like one of the last people to come in. I was like, cool, he likes me. That's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, happy Monday.
Hello.
First off, Lava was awesome. Please do that again next year.
Thank you. You were our cowbell holder, were you not?
Yes. What's an anime that, whether you worked on it or not, that you started watching and just were so sucked in that you could not stop?
Recently, or just whatever?
Code Geass.
Oh, yeah.
College marathon that.
It was college for sure. It was the DBZ Cell Saga. We would watch it in my open dorm room, and people would wander in and be like, "What's that?" Animal dog, have a seat.
I rewatched Evangelion with my fiance, and that one still holds up. It's incredible. We watched it in 3 days and then cried. Confused tears are the best tears.
It's probably been since college since I've had the time to even binge watch an anime, and now like I have to keep track of at least 2 shows at once, if not more. So I don't really know the answer to this question. I'm sorry.
I very often would turn on the TV really late at night and watch Inuyasha, and although I never watched the whole series, like I can't tell you who the characters are.
I've seen the experience. I've seen so much and I have no idea what that show's about.
I turn it on and I'm sucked in.
I
love watching it.
When it came on, I would watch it and I'd be like, who are all these cool people?
Yeah. So that's one that I'll watch anytime, but I have no clue what's going on and I won't care.
So when I found out I got cast in Sword Art Online, it was the first show that I had worked on in LA, and the director said, could you please watch a couple episodes before you come in, because that's how Alex wanted to work for that show. So I was watching it around 6 or 7. I was like, I'll watch 2 episodes, I'll be rested. No. I watched up to episode 11, and I was like, wow, you gotta get a couple hours of sleep before you go to the session. And you guys know what happens around that time in that episode. So I was like, what am I doing? And I went to the session really depressed. He was like, are you okay? I was like, I watched episode 11. He goes, why? Why did you watch that much? I was like, I couldn't stop. So it was a very awkward first session.
Alright, we have
Thank you. Yes, we have literally 60 seconds per question.
We don't all have to answer.
Real quick, everybody's energy is awesome. I'm in a better mood since I've been in this room.
Yay!
But I have a kind of weird question. It's time for the great anime ball and dance. And you, of course, look to your bracelet that says WW_D. Who is the person, anime character, you asked for advice, and what did they tell you? Ask your crush out.
Ask your crush out, so
Ask
not
your
a
crush
crush.
out for the ball.
Who to talk to?
Yeah, not the crush, but who is the person you asked
WWPPD, what would Puri prisoners do? I need that confidence.
Somebody that we play or someone we know?
Any anime.
Any anime character.
Oh my god.
What would Brock do?
That's a good one. Come on, guys. Speed.
What would Shigure Soma do?
What would Master
Everybody's on target.
Who's the guy from Konosuba? Kazuma. What would Kazuma do? He knows how to get away.
Oh, okay. What would Chibi used to do?
Aww.
She's a child. She's so sweet.
Next!
Hi.
Hi.
This is a question for Amanda.
Yeah.
Is there any other Daymond characters that you play?
I also played Shirakuma in the Despair Girls game, I believe, which is the white bear. I think that's an X out of Toho. Shirakuma.
That's not enough.
Yeah, I need to be down. I want to be everyone.
Thank
you.
Hi. So I was just wondering, is there any character that you wish you could have played, maybe like when you were a kid, like, or something that you recently watched that came out before you started, like a character you wish you could play?
It's not a particular character, but I really, really wish I could have been a part of the Sailor Moon universe with all my buds.
Yeah,
Because I love Sailor Moon, and we almost had it in Texas, and then it went to LA, and I thought, well, I know enough people, but it didn't happen. Sniff, sniff. It's okay, you guys are awesome still.
Still love you.
I want to be Grape Jelly from My Hero Academia.
This is an anime that I really regret never having been part of the Firefly series. I always would have loved to have been like Wash and Zoe's mixed race baby.
I just want one good shonen show. I don't care if it's 12 episodes. I just want to be in a really good. Race for 6 hours. No. I want to be in like a Fullmetal or just some sort of beloved shonen show, even if it's unlimited run, even if it's only 50 episodes.
I wonder if like you never get that show, and then in like 40 years from now, you're like, I just want one. I just want to be a teenager one time.
Please. And it'll happen. There'll be a show where it's an old man trapped in a teenager's body. Get the chance.
I can't think of something right now, so.
I would love to do something in the Barbie universe because I loved Barbie as a child, and I still want to work on Barney.
Thank you.
We're gonna do it, we're gonna make it, you guys.
We're crushing.
Have any of your characters been shipped, and are there any that you really like or dislike?
Character ships?
Oh, shit. Like, sail that ship.
Prompto forever.
Yeah, there it is.
Genocide. That's Saitama Genos.
Dave, Shield, and All Might from My Hero did make a shipping trailer. Funimation made it. And,
What? As a joke. And
As
the
a
Japanese
joke,
were
the
like,
Japanese
stop.
said, not funny.
Very particular about our opinions on ships.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a huge, from Attack on Titan, because I play Petra, I'm a big Levi and Petra. My neck is so bad.
I don't know, I don't want to get cake for it. Yeah.
Boruto X Naruto.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Hi. This is for Ray Chase and Robbie Daymond. Since you guys both played in Final Fantasy 15, I was wondering what your favorite creature from Final Fantasy 15 would be.
Favorite creature?
Favorite creature is one green and black duck-shaped character named Kenny Crow. He's the most frightening character in all of Final Fantasy.
You didn't like Soul 4?
I didn't quite like Soul 4, but I like Snowman. Kenny Crow is a mascot who literally shoves water down Noctis' throat and runs away at an amusement park. And Noctis says, "Thanks for the mouthful." It is very frightening.
Easy. I just wanna ride a chocobo all day. Hey. Did you guys have fun? Monday morning to talk anime with us. If you have time this afternoon, a few of us will still be on the Walk of Fame if you want to get your stuff signed. Thanks for coming to the panel, everyone.